Creators, what if the problem with manifesting your chosen reality isn't circumstances? What if it's the fact that you've never learned how to actually stay in your chosen frequency? You say you've chosen peace. You say you've chosen power. You say you've chosen abundance. The question is, can you keep choosing when people disrespect you, when money gets tight, when triggers from the past start whispering in your ear? That's why tonight we're not just asking about manifesting, we're asking about mastery. The question that we're exploring tonight is, can you stay in your chosen vibration at all times? As usual, folks, the question is for both of us, okay? Because this question started coming up to me during the middle of the week, during the middle of this week. It's a familiar question. We come back to it all the time. It's like we talk about being able to select a reality, being able to choose the mood. When we talk about vibration and frequency, we're really talking about your mood, your state. And so we talk about, can you choose your mood? Can you honor that same mood throughout the day, such that you call forth the circumstance, the events, the objects that are in alignment with that mood, with that state of being? Hmm. Let me get to the story. Let me go ahead and get to the story. So, without further ado, if you're ready to live free beyond fear, welcome here. I'm Dr. Shawn, and I believe you do not need years to heal. You just need one real breakthrough. That's why I invented Transcendent Psychology, and I tested on real people in the streets on my game show, Countdown to Breakthrough, the only game show that heals your soul. Right now, you're on the Breakthrough Live, where we break down the science of healing so that you get your own breakthrough live. On today's show, we're exploring our question, can you stay in your chosen vibration at all times? I was telling y'all a few weeks back that this question, it started maturing in me just a couple of weeks ago. As I had mentioned on the Breakthrough Live of that week, I found out that a business partner was effectively hiding money from me. And when I saw that, meditation experience, the kits, everything goes out the window. Once I found out, because at a point, it's not even about the money. It's like, why would you do it? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing over there? What are you doing? It's like I told you, I was like real tight about that. But the beautiful part about that experience was that I got to see my own frequency. I got to see all of the moments where my frequency was dipping in and out. Generally speaking, I'm in a state of love, a state of peace, or at least I thought. But because I had this new issue become available to me, I start reflecting. I'm like, oh, yo, it might clearly the situation has angered me, but how come it's so difficult to shake? How is it so difficult to shake? Like I was like, oh, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this vibe, which made me think. I get an email from one of the subscribers. Shout out Naya. Actually, she sends me an email and without any knowledge of what's going on, it says, "Hey, Dr. Shawn, you need to check out this dude, Mark Houghton. Okay, he's on YouTube. He's a manifesting coach. Check him out." And so I was like, "Okay, bet." You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and get to googling. And the video that I want to show you tonight comes from Mark Houghton. And what's happening is I see a piece of the video. I haven't even seen the whole thing, but I saw a piece of it, and it was enough for me to be like, "Oh, wow." And really taking responsibility over my vibration right now. Oh, I understand that somebody's hiding cash from you, but or hiding equity from you, but like, why does that get to decide and determine my mood? Because it's not just the situation where there is. It's never just one situation. It's never just one problem. It's never just, oh, if I just get past this one event, this one obstacle, then the rest of life is smooth sailing. Of course not. Because guess what? A new challenge comes, and a new challenge comes, and a new challenge comes. And so it's like from every challenge, there is the responsibility of saying, okay, what is this challenge showing to me about me? You feel me? So this question that we're exploring tonight, this is a question I'm asking. Can you stay in your chosen vibration at all times? Can I stay in my chosen vibration at all times? Like the question is it even possible? Looking like life is going to throw you a curveball at some point. And so it's like, is it even possible? That's the question we're exploring tonight. That's the question we're exploring tonight. So as we pull up this clip, I want to begin working through my own assumptions. I want to start working through my own beliefs, and I want to get to an answer. I want to get to something. I want to get to an exploration. It looks like we're going to have to look. Just hearing the words of a YouTuber is not going to be enough, but it's enough to start the conversation. It's enough to start the conversation. At some point, we're gonna need to enter the lab tonight. Turn within and discover our own answers. But before we can do that, we need to actually understand what the conversation is all about. Okay, I see. Let's see. Felicity, I see you in the room. Welcome in. Welcome in. Twin, I see you in the room. Welcome in. Tanya, I see you in the room. Welcome in. Welcome in. Other twin, I see you in the room. Welcome in. Okay, folks. So let me know. Have y'all ever asked this question? Like the question really is like, how do you stay? Like I think a lot of us we get to a place where it's like, oh yeah, we found this peace, we found this love, we found this sort of unshakable divinity. You dig what I'm saying? We can find it, we can get there. We've developed a level of mastery around it, and then life, whatever your little button is, whatever that little button is, life will find a way to get there. You dig what I'm saying? It'll find a way to and press that one button that you didn't think was still available to be pressed. And so, we get to this question of can you stay in this chosen vibration? Let me know if you've ever asked yourself that question. As we get to the place, and then a lot of times we get kicked out of it and we start asking, man, I just wish I could just stay. If I could just stay in that bliss, stay in that peace. I've seen myself do it in times that were more difficult. If I could just stay there in times that were all the time, in times even that were less difficult, but still otherwise agitating, how much more beautiful would life get? Ooh, that's the question. That's the real for real the question tonight. Is like, could I stay? Is it even possible? Or are we getting into a philosophy of foolishness where we think that somehow trying to hang on to any mood is a fiction? Yeah, okay. So let's get to this. Shout out Nia for even putting me on to Mark Hoffman because I saw it and I was like, okay, I gotta say something about this. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, so we're about to go through. I rewinded it to the beginning. We'll go through piece by piece, break it apart, and then continue our conversation even further. Let's hit it.
Welcome. How's everybody doing today? Wonderful to see all of you here today. Right, so I'm sure you've heard the term to get what you want or manifest what you want, you must become the vibrational match with what you want for it to show up into your life. So when people say, hey, you must become the match, what are they really pointing to? They're really pointing to one truth. And here's the truth you got to understand, all right? When your vibrational match to become what you want, become the energy to get what you want, it's all about your nervous system. Your nervous system, identity, and your daily behavior must align with the version of you who already has the thing. That's basically it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and slow it down. So just for people who are brand new to this, and for the people who are true to this, the idea here is that you've heard people say that in order to attract something, you must see it as if you already have it, right? You must perceive reality as if you already have that thing, because that's what puts you into the mood. And this person's saying nervous system, Mark is saying nervous system. That's what I mean when I say psychoneurologically. You'll hear me talk about we get into a frequency, and what we're doing is tapping into energy fields. Psychoneurologically, I'm saying we're inviting a frequency into our nervous system, right? And the idea is that the moment you can see yourself as if you already have or are already doing the thing that you wish to be true, you begin to summon the thoughts into your nervous system that align with the sort of behavioral patterns that a person would do were they already accomplished in the activity or situation that you're desiring to be in, right? So it means that a person who already thinks of themselves as wealthy is going to behave very differently than a person who does not. A person who thinks of themselves as wealthy is going to be able to take certain higher levels of risk when it comes to creating more capital, because that person has in their psychology the deep sense that because they're already wealthy, any new venture, they basically have nothing to lose in it. They know what to do in order to create and generate more wealth, right? They go into the situation with more confidence. This is the idea. This, from a behavioral standpoint, this is the idea. Putting yourself mentally into the position of the one that already has achieved the thing that you are setting out to do allows for you to summon the thoughts, the emotions, and of course the actions that are consistent with that final identity. So rather than closing yourself off to opportunity, you open yourself up to opportunity because you're not afraid of failure because you believe you already have succeeded. You dig what I'm saying? So this is the psychology behind this notion of as if. Just for people who are new to this is the idea. Now we can go into a deeper level of what this means for the nature of reality. We'll save that, but that's just a bird's eye view of what this conversation and where it's going. Okay. Okay, so I say Faith Newton, the twins brought me. Okay, welcome in, welcome in. And thank you, twins. The twins, man, uh, they like the lifeblood. Okay, so twin is saying life happens to them for you, or life happens for you when you align yourself. Excellent. All right, let's hit back.
So, what vibration actually means in simple terms? All right, let's break it down. So here's what a vibration is. Because everyone's wondering, hey man, okay, Mark, I gotta raise my vibration. But who, does anybody really know what vibrations are? People think, oh, my vibration is like this invisible energy thing. Yeah, at the core, it's the energy. But if you don't know what a vibration is and how it works, how are you going to raise it? How are you going to get it to that level? So let's break it down simple for you. So I wrote these down for you to get them, all right? So here they go. Number one, your vibrations of what makes your core vibrations are the following four things. Number one, what you expect. Number two, how you talk to yourself. Number three, how your body feels most of the day. And number four, how you naturally act. This one is important. How you naturally act when no one is around.
So for our question today, we are focused on Mark's number 3 position. How are you feeling throughout most of the day? Because that question gets us to the place of saying, okay, well, I tend to act how I feel, right? I tend to act in alignment with whatever the true mood is within me. And so if I can get that right, it's like the one big domino. If I can get that right, it knocks down the other ones. You feel me? Let's get back.
Those four components are your vibration. That combination creates what's called your default state. Remember this, life in the multiverse responds to your default, not your wishes. Let me repeat that again. The reality responds to your default, not your wishes. What is normal for your brain. Okay? All right. Let's continue. Why wanting something isn't enough. Most people, what they do this. I want money. I want love. I want health. But internally, they are expecting struggle. Talking to themselves like they're behind. Feeling anxious or desperate. Acting from a lack. This creates what's called a mismatch. You cannot receive something while reinforcing the identity of someone who doesn't have it or deserve it. So becoming a vibrational match of the version of who you are. So look, it's about becoming a vibrational match. Or how about becoming the version of you who already has it? Check this out, guys. This doesn't mean pretending. It means training your body and mind to operate from the same what? Internal state you would have if it were already done. All right, let me give you an example of when someone says, hey, you got to be a vibrational match. And you got to match the energy of what it is you want for it to show up externally. So here's an example. Now, let's say if you already had money, right? You wouldn't rush, you wouldn't obsess. You wouldn't feel pressure? Would you feel pressure? You would make decisions calmly, right? You would trust the timing. So the question becomes, can you practice that kind of internal state now? That's the work.
And that's the part that one part was the part that I saw that pulled me in. I was like, okay, this dude, he's speaking to me. You feel me? Because he says, listen, if you already had money, would you be in a rush? Would you be so flustered if you would you be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would you know what to do? You know the vibration that you need to be in. Is that in alignment with the actual vibration that you are in? That's the question I started getting. I was like, dang, okay. You know, so I'm leaning in. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm leaning in. I'm trying to figure out what's he about to say next, right? And so in my situation, I was kind of like, oh, okay, wait a minute, you're right. Like, if if I'm taking this hiding of money so seriously, that must be surfacing a subtle belief in lack, a subtle belief in scarcity. So I was like, oh, dang. Okay, well, shoot, I thought I had overcome that. All right, well, I guess let me go back to the drawing board. And so as I'm hearing him say this, it's not so much about what beliefs are, still lingering in the mind. It's more about like which beliefs are dictating the vibration, the default vibration, as Mark says. Which beliefs are dictating the default vibrations, as Mark says? I was like, oh, shoot. These are the questions I'm getting. I'm like, oh, man. Okay, so you know what truth feels like. You know what love feels like. You know what that deep divine feels like. But if you find somebody's being funny with the money, all of a sudden that joint switch, you know what I'm saying? Little switch hits, and all of a sudden I'm off and thinking about, okay, well, how do I defend myself? How do I do this? How do I? How beautiful a situation. That's what I'm saying. That these challenges, they get to reflect those places that we thought we had already visited. And it is true that you visited it. You dig what I'm saying? But now we're just going to a deeper level. We're going to a deeper level of flexibility, a deeper level of strength, a deeper level of spiritual depth. And so at the end of the day, it's not even about what we can get. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I kind of it's not that I have an issue with the manifesting talk and talking about vibrate. It's not that I have an issue with it. It's that I don't want to get into a situation where again we turn to the fundamental forces of reality and start trying to use them as a genie, right? Yeah, have you ever met somebody who's super religious but they use God as a genie? They're always going to God and praying for something, praying to get something, praying that some sort of circumstance will change. It's always looking for God to be their personal Santa Claus. I don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to basically bring that immature process into the study of reality. It is true. This notion of manifesting, it is true. It's how I was able to retire at 30. It is true. But boy, there are levels to this. And the biggest thing is that when we're manifesting something, even retirement for me. It's not like, oh yeah, I hit this moment and now everything is smooth. Like, no, man, like life still does this. You dig what I'm saying? There's still ups and downs. The downs aren't as down as they would be were we absent this knowledge, but they're still down, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's still situations like the one I'm telling you about. Why should that the prayer tonight is not for situations to become easier, but for us to have the reflective capacity to take the moment that's required in order to look at a challenge and ask it, what are you trying to teach me? So I'm going to take responsibility for this challenge. I'm going to take responsibility for everything that's showing up, understanding that my vibration, my attraction, it called it forth. So whether I'm up or I'm down, I'm taking responsibility for all of that. That means I need to also be able to say, what is the situation trying to teach me? If I understand myself and if I understand reality as integrated, a single integrated whole, then that would mean that my situation cannot be divorced from God. Let me say that again. That would mean my situation cannot be divorced from God. When I say God, I don't mean guy in the sky. I mean the basic basis of reality. That means my situation cannot be divorced from the supreme ultimate reality, from the supreme ultimate, which also means that there is something that God wants me to learn by going through the challenge. There is a message in the challenge for me. And so for me, in regard to this situation, the question was, is it even possible to stay in this frequency, to stay in this vibration? Can you do it? Show me the person who's done, not just the person who's saying it's possible. Show me the homie who did it. Show me who's doing it, who's been the same vibration since 94. Show me that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the person I really want to speak to. I want to talk to him. And I want to spend some time around him. Because if you're telling me that there are these levels to vibration and to vibrational mastery where a person is always in the frequency, oh, I got to find out. Oh, I got to find out. I see the assumption is, you know, we assume that there are these folks, and I'm not, of course. What I'm saying is that tonight I want to explore the question for myself. Less to do with what somebody else has accomplished, more to do with, can we take that same question and go within and see what reality says? Let's continue.
Make sense to you? Okay, let's continue. So here's some steps for you to become a vibrational match. Number one, change your inner language.
My bad. Sublime's in the room. Okay. Twin, thank you for shouting her out. Sublime, I see you. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome in. I know somebody who's happy to see you, but we'll get to him a little later. You feel me?
Which immediately, like right now, your self-talk is the fastest state, the fastest way to shift your state. Okay, instead of saying, oh man, oh Mark, I need this to happen now. What if it doesn't work? I'm behind. You got to use what I call identity-based affirmations. Let me give you a powerful one. Number one, why do things always work out? What? For me. Why do things always work out for me? Why does money flow to me when I stay relaxed? Why does money flow to me when I stay relaxed? Why am I so grounded and certain lately? Listen to this. This one's very important, guys. There's something about your brain. Your brain answers questions automatically. That shifts your chemistry. How does it shift your chemistry? Here we go. It regulates your body first. That's huge. You cannot manifest from a dysregulated nervous system.
This is so powerful. He's saying, and remember, I just found, thanks to Nia, I just found who, I just found this video. I found Mark Hofton. Um, but what do we call it in transcendent psychology? We don't call it the same thing, but it's the same thing. You feel me? Like instead of after we get into supreme awareness, we come over here to the iodine mind. Inside the iodine mind, there are a series of kits, what we call conscious transformation technologies. These are tools that we're going to use in order to reprogram the mind, right? And one of those kits is called the higher reprogramming question. Being able to ask that higher reprogramming question, we want to be able to, just like he's saying, ask the question that subtly shifts our belief from the negative to the positive. But here's the thing, is that when you're using these tools, like any set of tools, they must be practiced. And they must be practiced under tension. You dig what I'm saying? Like it has to be, yes, we're going to practice in good times, but we're also going to practice when challenge comes. But like with any practice, sometimes you're going to hit it and sometimes you're not. Which is why we're still asking our question, can you stay in that chosen vibration? Could you stay? Not just can you, is it even possible? Remember, that's the question we're dealing with tonight. Let's continue.
Okay? Gotta remember something. Your body tells your subconscious mind what reality you're in. That one's deep. Your body tells your subconscious mind what reality you're in. So, what is your body telling your subconscious mind right now? If you're calm, if a calm body signals safety. Safety signals openness and receiving mode. See how that works? If you're in anxious state, if you're in nervous state, what reality your body is telling your subconscious to put you in? Okay, let's go over to the next one here. How about, okay, Mark, act like the version of you who expects it. We hear that a lot. Man, how do I act like the version of me who expects that? Someone asked me, how do you deregulate your nervous system? Breathing, subliminal, grounding, self-talk. Why do I feel so calm and secure? Why is my nervous system so calm? That's how you deregulate and get your nervous system back in check.
Notice that there is not just one way. He's suggesting for you that there are several ways in which to regulate the nervous system. But each one of these, from the questions that you're asking, higher reprogramming questions as we call them, he's calling them a different type of question, but the questions that you're asking, the self-talk, breathing, mantra could be another, prayer could be another. You feel me? It's like there are so many different domains, modalities. On one level, it's like, oh man, that's cool. Like there's so many different ways to get this done. On another level, it's like, dang, it's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to give yourself a false sense of security when your practice doesn't quite line up. It's so easy to give yourself a false sense of security with using tools. But the problem is that if you are not committed to a committed practice of tool usage, you find that those tools break when you need them the most, right? And so that is the crux of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is the part. I'm just giving you the layer after the layer, right? If you were a person that was like, yo, I'm about to take this, I'm about to roll. Okay, cool. You go, you do the thing, right? You go and get the money, you go and get the retirement, you go and get the family, you go and get the life. I'm talking about post that, but post all of this working, post you saying, oh man, this is incredible. Post you making a YouTube channel because you think it's great. Man, post all champ. This is the part that I'm at. I'm saying post all of that. You get to a place where still life has a way of finding that one button that you thought was gone, that you thought you had triumphed over, and it just it presses in. This is for the advanced folks tonight. This is for the folks who are not new to this, but true to this. People who already know. You done read Spiritual Responsibility. You already know. You've already had and experienced your dream life. Only to find, folks. This is let me if I just say it this clearly. Let me see if I can get this as clear as possible. Only to find that at the life that you formerly dreamed of comes challenges you never dreamed of. Getting that like the life that you know what I'm saying, you manifest, you do think you good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right at that point comes the challenges that you never dreamed of. You might say, okay, well, I'll just use the same questions. I'll just use the same. All right. At some point, what I'm suggesting for you tonight is that there will come a time when you must go deeper, right? There's asking higher reprogramming questions, and then there's asking higher reprogramming questions. There's engaging in self talk, positive self talk, and then there's engaging in the real, true to the deal conversation with self, conversation with God. There's breathing exercises and breath work. And then there's the deepening of that practice. And what I'm saying is what you can get at level 1 or level 2 practice is all well and good until life gives you a level 3 problem. Oh, now you got to take that practice deeper. Folks, everybody out here saying the same thing. I'm going to tell you the exact same thing as Mark. I got my own little way of saying it, but I'm going to tell you the exact same thing. At a point, our question becomes one of deepening. It becomes one of depth. Can we deepen further in our practice, knowing, of course, that in this dimension, and this is the part that I feel like we don't get as much of in the manifesting talk, in the manifesting community, if that practice is not deepening. If you've manifested your dream life in this reality, in this dimension of experience, we are here to be met with real challenges that allow us to go deeper. And so it's not really a question of once I've manifested this dream life, am I going to encounter stress again? The real question is once as I continue to walk my path, how can I deepen so that when life's inevitable challenges do come, I have a way of seeing the truth of maintaining my equanimity, of maintaining my perspective. It's the one piece that I think, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see people talking about manifesting in Super Bowl commercials and all this. I'm like, this is getting like once it starts hitting that kind of level of commercialism, I'm like, okay, it's time for the next phase of this. It's time for the next iteration, the deepening of this conversation. Because the trick is not just can you lift yourself up? Can you change your mood? Can you change your frequency? It's can you hold that frequency when life is bringing you all kinds of curveballs, all kinds of issues, problems, challenges, turnarounds? Can you still hold that frequency? Can you still do it? Let's get back.
By doing that daily. What else? Proper rest. Be on a tight circadian rhythm. Go to bed the same time every single night. Every night. Wake up the same time every single morning. Those are things to deregulate to keep your nervous system intact. Watch the foods you eat. Highly inflammatory foods can mess up and deregulate your nervous system. There's a whole bunch. I answered your question? Okay, good. Let us continue. All right. Why did I become the version of what? Of me whose money grows automatically and indefinitely? Yes, that's a good affirmation. So, okay. So now we're going to act like the version of you who expects it.
Okay, so let me get to this. Like, and I think this is the crux of the conversation for me. For me, we start talking about let's take the question that Mark is asking, which is how do I become the version of me that always has money flowing to me abundantly? Right. That's kind of the general gist of the question that he's asking, that he is proposing that we ask ourselves so that we take the position of the one who already has the money flowing to him abundantly. You dig what I'm saying? And like those types of questions will get you paid, champ. Like that, it will get you paid. Like for sure, it'll get you paid. It'll get you paid. What I'm saying to you is that after you've been paid, after you've hit that dream number, whatever it is, and you're living, there will come a point in time when whatever you manifested won't be enough anymore. The money won't be enough. The relationship won't be enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in great shape, the physical body is gonna you'll get tired of looking at all your muscles in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what it is, there will come a time when it won't be enough anymore. At that point, you'll begin to ask a question. If you're looking to go deeper, you will begin to ask a question of, wait a minute, is there one vibration that I could abide in at all times that would bring to me not only abundance, but everything, but purpose too. Everything that I could possibly want out of life. Is there one vibration that I could stay in throughout the day that would bring me everything? Because I can see that once I'm in the wealth abundance mindset, you get into a wealth lethargy, right? It just stops being interesting. It stops being at a point you're going to stop asking about how to get paid, how to get more money. You're going to stop asking that. And that deepening that happens, you start saying, wait, is there a frequency? Is there a vibration that I could be in that could bring me everything? Not just money, but purpose, that would put me in front of the people that I most care about, that I most want to spend my time with. Is there something? Is there one frequency, one vibration? This is the question that I had to get to. And I'm gonna show you how this ties in just a moment. But that question of, is there one frequency that I could abide in that would bring me everything? And the answer I found was yes. Yes, there is that frequency. Yes, there is that frequency. We're going to get to the point. We're going to get to the question, but that frequency, yes, there is. That frequency is love. That frequency is love itself. Hmm. Could I abide in love all day long? Could I abide in love all day long? That would be my chosen frequency. That would be my chosen frequency. But here's the beautiful thing about challenges is that abiding in that love will ask me to do a very different thing than if I make wealth my primary, if I make, money making my primary goal. If I'm abiding in love, I'll do something that's different than if I'm just trying to make money. You dig what I'm saying? And sometimes following that path of love can cost everything else. Like everything else. The things that used to give me security and safety, a lot of that stuff is gone. But what I have instead is this love thing. And now I have to trust it. Hmm. Now I have to trust this love thing to be that one vibration. I can trust it because I understand that when I say love, I'm not just talking about an emotion. I'm talking about the deep fabric of reality. I'm talking about reality felt. I'm really talking about oneness. When you say I love somebody, what we're really saying is I feel one with you, or I am one with you. So why we say God is love, right? That whatever is one must be infinite, and that infinity stretches through all things, right? And so if we stay in that vibration, naturally we begin to do that which is most pertinent to our core existence. Whatever it is that you are on the earth plane to do, you will do it if you abide in love. You did what I'm saying. Nothing else will make sense. Nothing else will make sense. And so for me, I started seeing the power of this love vibration, of this love frequency, of walking around feeling this love mood all day, this love energy. And it's not the fact that the energy is God, it's the fact that if you can feel that energy of love, that means you are in alignment with the true totality of reality. You dig what I'm saying? You think of the energy of love as just being your signal, that you are in alignment with that totality of reality. Okay. And so as I'm following this love frequency, here's the thing, life still brings me challenges. Like the one I'm telling you about with the partner deal. You dig what I'm saying? With people being funny with the money. And so wonderful, that is the opportunity to say, wait a minute, can I love at a deeper level here? Can I love at a deeper level? See, tonight's question, as I'm talking, I'm like I'm getting these downloads. So tonight's conversation is really about, we're talking about, can you stay in your chosen frequency? But as I choose to walk this path of love, these challenges begin to simply appear. They don't come often, but when they do come, they come for real. They come hard. And maybe it wouldn't be a challenge for you, but it's just that one button for me. You'll have a different button, but life will bring it, champ. Because no matter how much you're doing the self-talk, no matter how much you're doing your practice, there's still deeper to relax in the truth. There's still deeper. So when this challenge comes to me, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm asking, can I stay in this vibration? I want the love frequency. That's the most beautiful vibration that I care to be in. I really will forsake all other things. I have forsaken all other things other than God, other than love. You dig what I'm saying? All other things until I get that one challenge that comes and says, wait a minute, you haven't surrendered enough. Almost like God is bringing that one challenge to me to say, wait, you haven't surrendered quite enough yet. Hold on, I see you walking in love. I see you doing, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want you tiptoeing in love no more. I don't want you tiptoeing in love no more. I want you all the way in. Mm. Like I'm getting insight as I'm talking to you. It's like I don't want you tiptoeing in love no more. I want you all the way in. The question being, can you hold and stay in your chosen frequency? Perhaps the real question, the deeper question, that might be a misnomer, a question inappropriately asked. The better question is, can you deepen in your chosen vibration? You feel me? Can you deepen in that chosen vibration? Mm. Because this idea that you're going to be able to stay in any one vibration, what would constitute staying? Right? Because there's a continuum to everything. So you mean if I tiptoe in love, that's the same thing as walking forward powerfully, prominently in love? Is that the same thing? Of course not. So the problem happens, and as I'm talking to you about this right now. I'm sitting here thinking it's like if you try and freeze a vibration as if it is a on and off switch, then you misrepresent reality to yourself, which is to say that a vibration by its nature has a frequency to it, an up and a down. But check it out, there are also octaves to this. You know what I'm saying? Same love vibration, but take it up an octave. You take it higher. We could say that's just called deepening, whatever direction you want to go in. So the real question is can you deepen in your chosen frequency? Because life's challenges are going to come, champ. I'm not really trying to hear nobody saying, oh, well, I don't ever have a challenge. I don't ever have an issue. I don't ever, bro. I'm not believing that. We're not in this existence for that to be the case. We are not here on the planet for that to be the case. We are here to face the challenges that deepen us, not live in this state of challengeless consciousness. It may be true that a person can acquire the peace. We can always touch and feel that peace that exists beyond physical form. I don't mean that you lose touch with that. I don't mean you lose touch with the infinite bliss. I don't mean you lose touch with infinite peace that is always already existing. Understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you lose touch with love. I'm not saying you lose touch with God. I'm not saying that. You can always stay connected to that. But this happens to be the sort of reality where challenges will come and test your connection. It'll test how well are you actually, how deeply are you actually meeting your life's challenges with this God force, with this most powerful sequence called love? Or do you retreat into the tiny self? Do you retreat into the little person that says, oh gosh, somebody just disrespected me? See, that's what I started finding, is that out of a 24-hour period, if I am in love, or actually you say 16-hour of waking state consciousness, if I am in love 50% of that time, or 60% of that time, 70% of that time, what else am I doing? What's the other 30% like? What's the other 30% like? The very challenge of the business partner hiding money from me, it felt like I got to finally see, basically do an audit on my energy for the entire day. And I got to see, going through that situation, of course, which is, abnormal, but still, I got to see myself fluctuate between these moments of, oh, how could this person do this to me? I can't believe. And then, oh, you gotta let this go. Just come back to love, abide in love. But no, for real, he shouldn't have done that to me. He shouldn't have been. Oh no, just come back to love. It's all good. Just no, but for real, and fluctuating between these, what we might say, the larger self and the smaller self. I see myself going through that process, and the problem is that there was more time being given over to the smaller self. More time for about 3 days, for about 72 hours. It wasn't like this was a whole thing, but like for 72 hours, there was more time being given over to the smaller self, to the tiny you, the tiny me. 72 hours. And fluctuating. I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. And then you know what I'm saying? So I get the issue, or have the tiny self coming through and saying, look, they shouldn't have did this to you. They knew uh uh everything that you are, everything that you're trying to do, and still they would betray. You dig what I'm saying? There was those types of deals. And then there was me, okay, let me ask my higher reprogramming questions, let me recenter back in love. You dig what I'm saying? So there's a balance to it. And ultimately love won out, but it took 72 hours. Through the process, I could see, oh, wait a minute, how much, truly, if you were to do an audit over your day, as I was doing an audit over my day, it's like, how much am I actually in the love frequency throughout the day? How committed am I to making every step a step in God? That's the beauty of the challenge. That's the beauty of the situation. In the end, it's what brought up this question. Can you stay in your chosen frequency, but just being on the breakthrough live, I'm having a breakthrough live, and it's like, oh, hold on, that's the wrong question, champ. That's the wrong question. The real question is can you deepen in your chosen frequency? The challenges are a part of it. You feel me? The challenges are a part of deepening in that frequency. Because the very fact that a challenge could pull you out of frequency means that there's an opportunity to allow that challenge to deepen you in the frequency. So now I'm looking back at that situation, I'm thinking like, oh dang, wow, that was for my benefit. Mm, right. That challenge, not only did it get me to do an audit over my day in terms of like, okay, let me watch and observe my mind for a 24-hour period and see how much does my mind go to self-defeating questions versus higher reprogramming questions. But more than that, it's that opportunity to return again and again to the love foundation, coming back to that love energy, even if I can only touch it for 10 minutes. And then I'm back 20 minutes inside of this lower vibration, this lower frequency, this other sort of mood, these other patterns of thought, just to come back 10 minutes. Wait, I'm back in that love frequency. I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. What I found was that my best thinking came when I was back in the love frequency. And it got to the point where I was able to approach this partner and meet them with the love frequency. Meet them with the love frequency. Rather than with hostility, rather than with threats, rather than with you dig what I'm saying? There's a little bit of that stuff too, but ultimately, you know what I'm saying? We got to the place where it was the love frequency, you feel me? And so it's like, oh wait, if this challenge is revealing, this challenge is like a light that's revealing all the places where I still had this illusion residing, this false self residing. You dig what I'm saying? And eventually just got to the point where I was like, wait, you can just, if love is all I need, then it doesn't actually matter how this situation turns out. Can I find that joint for you? Let me see if I can find this for you. I don't even know if I can find this for you. Let me see if I can. What I'm doing right now is I'm looking inside of a book. I'm looking inside the love book. I want to show you. There was one passage in there, and I'm basically eyeballing it right now. Yeah, okay, okay. Let me show you this joint right here. I'm about to show you this because there was one point when I was in the middle of the argument, in the height of the battle, and I was like, "Oh shoot," you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I hang up the phone. I'm pacing around. I get in the room and I pick up the love book because I'm editing this joint right now, right? So I picked it up, right? And so the deal is that let me see if I can pull this up. Love may tell you. So I'm down here at this second page right here. Let me see if I can even pull this up even further. Right, love may tell you to do things that are outside of your comfort zone right now. You will do them anyway. That's because living a life of love means surrendering yourself to love. Your life simply does not belong to tiny you anymore, which means no amount of money, attention, or fame can distract you from following love, from living according to God's will, your highest capacity. That part right there, it got me saying, wait, if love is all If this frequency, remember, we go back to the idea that if there was one frequency to bring me everything and it was love, then like what's the other worry about? What's the other concern about? What's the other issue? I couldn't find one. And so that tiny self starts to collapse. Again, just another higher reprogramming question. What is it? What is life like now that love is all I need? And I can give myself that love right now. You feel me? I can tap into that energy force, that energy field, that infinite energy right now. Tonight's question was, can you deepen? I'm sorry. Tonight's question was, can you stay in? Can you stay in your chosen vibration at all times? What we discovered tonight is that the question inappropriately represents reality. Because on one level, it assumes that there is a you to stay in something, that there is a tiny you that needs to stay in, that needs to do all of these things, that needs to practice, that needs to, right? Even though the perception of such a one is evident, the truth of such a one is not. So, really, we look back with fresh eyes upon the nature of existence and we recognize that there is a human experience, that there is human interaction, human, if you like to say, a human movie unfolding. And inside of this movie, the characters who have learned enough to know that there is a chosen vibration must also learn enough to know that life's challenges are meant to deepen your chosen vibration. There has to be that understanding. Because after you get done finding out, oh man, wait, reality responds to thought, reality responds to intention, reality responds to belief. Oh man, I could use it in order to get cool. But after you get through that stage, like we call that the party stage. After you get through the party stage, you're gonna want to go deeper. You're gonna want to say, wait, what is the true, authentic, true to the game nature of reality? I want to feel that. Now only God can provide because guess what? At a point, I start to just I want it all. The problem with the wanting is that it always, you dig what I'm saying? I'm always trying to go to a new level in terms of wanting. Wanting is insatiable. I want it all. And so I'm like, well, if I want it all, then why not just go to the one that is the all in all? Like this thirst can only be quenched with God. You dig what I'm saying? And because God is love, it can only be quenched with that love frequency. So there is no other point. For me, where I'm at, there is no other point. So life challenges, as I'm seeing, now that we sit here talking about it, like I'm like, oh, okay, I was misrepresenting reality. It's really each one of these circumstances, these events, these challenges, they're allowing me to deepen in this chosen frequency. In other words, you can almost think of it as if the chosen frequency, that love vibration, summons the very challenge that allows you to move deeper. Ooh. Now, we do not talk about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. So you mean to tell me that in choosing the vibration, in choosing the love frequency, not only does it attract the wonderful things to me, but it also attracts the challenges that deepen my capacity to stay in, to abide in, to transmit more of this love frequency, to embody even more light, to establish even myself psychoneurologically in the ground of foundation, the ground of reality, that vibration of love. You dig what I'm saying? Even the frequency itself. I mean, that's a really interesting reframe where the frequency itself is attracting the otherwise, the seemingly negative situations that allow me to deepen and have more of that very chosen vibration. You feel me? Somebody put "I feel you" if you understand in the chat. That is in our quest to talk about manifesting the life experience that we want. I do not think there is enough attention to understanding the beauty of challenge and the fact that the frequency, that chosen frequency, is doing you a favor by bringing you the challenge. In other words, that adversity is a privilege. In the words of UFC fighter Volkanovski, he said adversity is a privilege. And I'm saying that adversity is a privilege when you are walking on the path of love, you understand? Mm. That love summons to you all the wonderful things that you can ask for, including the challenges that allow you to deepen so that you receive even more. Mm. You got to stop. And I'm noticing for myself, it's like, wait, stop thinking of the challenge as if it is summoned by your lower vibration. You dig what I'm saying? Like, stop thinking of the challenge as if it is coming from a subtle sense of immaturity. What if the challenge is sent by God directly in order for you to deepen in your relationship with God? If you like the Christian symbolism, we can use that. If you don't like that, then you could say, what if the challenge comes in order for you to discover how to be more of yourself? Okay, folks, so we have to hit the breakthrough board. Gotta hit that. I see the twin saying, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Yes, yes, yes. Felicity saying, indeed, I feel you. Love is a force. Mine is peace. Excellent. Excellent. Yes, isn't that interesting? What would happen if we stopped thinking of problems as if they weren't gifts from God? But instead, we were to think of problems, challenges, as we call them. I don't really call them, they don't necessarily need to be a problem, but they are a challenge. You know what I'm saying? If we start thinking of these challenges as gifts from God directly, sent to advance our consciousness, sent to deepen our frequency, sent to connect us more and more with the deep foundation of all that is, until there is no mistaking you and love itself, until the two become one. Okay. That's why I like exploring these questions on the Breakthrough Live. That was a for real question that I was having. And now I'm like, okay, let's get to the breakthrough board. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the breakthrough board because we need to, as I'm talking, I'm getting these downloads in between the space between words. I'm getting these revelations that are personal to my journey. And I'm just saying them out loud. You feel me? It's like I'm saying them out loud. That subtle tendency to believe that, oh dang, if I'm getting hit with this challenge, then that means that I must have been doing something wrong last week or last year or something like this. You feel me? And it's like, well, hold on. There could be another way to look at this. Some challenges do come from just, yeah, I messed up. You know what I'm saying? That's for real. Like, yeah. Other challenges come from like divine challenges, challenges that are meant to, they look as messy as every other challenge, but they're challenges that are meant to, that are summoned on behalf of love to deepen us in love, summoned on behalf of God to deepen us in God. You understand? Ah, okay. We've got the breakthrough board right now, right out in front. And shout out Mark Houghton. That clip that we just saw was very helpful for getting us to understand the power of taking vibration back, of taking control over one's own vibration, of understanding that there are things that we can do in order to take responsibility over our mood, over our choices, over our thoughts, feelings. Understood. But now we're getting to a place where we want to start understanding that even once we arrive at our chosen vibration, challenges still come. Before tonight, I was thinking that challenges were a result of a misalignment in energy, some wayfaring thought that went awry, some feeling that hadn't been addressed. But tonight, I'm getting a different kind of download, one that's saying that challenges are a part of your chosen vibration. They come with it. They come with it. And they serve a purpose. And that purpose is to deepen you within that chosen vibration, to allow you to honor more of yourself within that chosen vibration. I wonder if there's a principle we can pull out of this. We're on the breakthrough board right now, and I want to talk about the principle, the pattern, and the path of the evening. I like to teach from principle because principles allow me to, when I learn something and I learn the principle behind the thing, once I know the principle, I can understand how to track my own course, how to trick my own course. Once I understand the principle, I can find my own path forward. So I like to talk from principles. I like to teach from principles. As of late, on the Breakthrough Live, I have not been preparing principle, pattern, and path before. I want to be right here live, and I want the principle to find us. In order to do that, that means taking the time to go within and listen for the answer. What's the principle tonight? Hmm. Okay, here we go. Here go the principle right here. Ready? Here go the principle right here. The principle of the evening. We're talking about the principle, the pattern, the path. The principle of the evening that just got downloaded to me from Spirit is this: challenges are here to deepen your vibration. Challenges are here to deepen your vibration. Challenges, they're here to deepen your vibration, which is to say, that challenges come baked into your chosen vibration. They're here to deepen you. They're doing you a favor as long as you can meet them well. So as long as we meet these challenges well, which is to say, meet them at all. Meet them where you can, meet them at all. Following that light, following that inner feeling of love to navigate every choice that you're making, even as you face that challenge. Ooh, you come out something different on the other side. Mm. Challenges are here to deepen your vibration. That's the principle of the evening. Now, remember, we started the conversation with the question, can you stay in your chosen vibration? Saw that question actually misrepresents reality. The real question is, can you allow your challenges to deepen your vibration? Because the challenges are going to come with it. And that's a good thing. It's a privilege. One of the rewards of being in this dimension and of being in an interconnected reality where highs and lows depend on one another. Ebbs and flows depend on one another. Forward and backward depend on one another. See, I think we get into this situation where we're thinking, oh, if I can just get into that wealth mindset and I just can stay there, I won't have any problems, or no problem will get in the way of my wealth mindset. The person who takes that approach will eventually be met with the challenge that they can't wish away. Oh, it will come. I told you the light will find that button. It'll right there. Right there. So we do not want to be naive with our understanding of reality. And no one we've seen tonight is suggesting that. I don't believe Mark is suggesting that. I'm not saying he is. But I am saying that that was an old belief of mine. And so, okay, we got the principle. Now we need the pattern. Now we need the pattern. Quinn is saying, I remember doing a video with Twin saying, wanting is breaking our reality so many eons ago and asking this question. Right. Yeah. The question you guys were asking was, like still wanting to come back to the notion of wanting, like having desire, still looking to find things in the world. But then, like the Buddhist, you can get to a place where you're like, oh, okay, all I desire is to have no desire. And then, of course, that becomes the desire that you're constantly trying to stay in. You feel me? And so it becomes like just another thing, a new problem, a new sort of psychological catch. Because the problem with desire is the problem with wanting, really the attachment to wanting, not just wanting itself, but the attachment to it. The real problem is that there is a subtle belief that love is not enough. And I wonder if that's connected with our pattern for the evening. Our principle for the evening was that challenges are here to deepen your vibration, to deepen your growth. Excellent. What is the pattern? The pattern, of course, is I like to talk from pattern recognition because once I can understand and recognize a pattern, I can deal with that pattern. I can treat that pattern. So the pattern is the way that we get into the trouble in the first place. If we understand that challenges are here to deepen our vibration, what's the pattern that would prohibit us from actually making use of that principle? What's the pattern that gets us into trouble in the first place? Mm. I'm just looking for that pattern, observing my own mind and watching where the very impulse comes from, where the very impulse to misrepresent reality comes from. Okay. Here's the pattern. Okay, here we go. So that pattern, the principle was, and the principle is that challenges are here to deepen your vibration. And so we ask ourselves, okay, what's the pattern? What's the issue? Like how do we even get into trouble in the first place? What stops us, blinds us from seeing the truth, the principle of the evening that challenges are meant to deepen us? Well, the pattern for the night, let's see if I can hear you so you can see this. The pattern for the evening is this. It is a subtle belief that positive vibration, your chosen vibration, won't present seemingly negative obstacles. This subtle belief that a positive vibe can't produce something negative or seemingly negative. I say seemingly, right? That's important. Not actually negative, but seems to be. In other words, we have assigned it the meaning of being negative. But this subtle belief that if we're in our chosen vibration, then that means if we're doing it the right way, if we're in our chosen vibration the right way, then that means that we should be able to vibrate out of any reality where there is challenges that run counter to our positive vibes. This becomes the pattern, this subtle belief that, oh, positive vibes are supposed to are supposed to help me just pop over challenges. And the deal is that they can and do, until that one challenge comes, until that big one comes, or just that right button one comes. And in those moments, if we're still holding on to the belief that positive vibes won't present seemingly negative obstacles, then guess what? We will overlook the principle that baked into the vibration is also a journey of deepening. Baked into the vibration, your chosen vibration, for me, it's always going to be love. Baked into that chosen vibration is a path of deepening within that vibration. So the challenges have to be met with the understanding that they are here to deepen. And so if we have our principle that challenges are here to deepen, and we understand the patterns, the belief that positive vibes won't present seemingly negative obstacles, we understand that that is our issue. Then what's the path forward? What's the path forward? We can see that there's this subtle belief, and I know I had it. I can see it in myself first. That somehow, oh man, if I'm just in this love deal, then I shouldn't have to deal with these other sorts of obstacles. But that causes a form of rejection against the challenge, a refusal to see that the challenge is appearing on my behalf. So, what is the path forward? Path forward is just this gentle reframe. It's just this gentle reframe that all challenges appear on your behalf. All challenges appear on your behalf. That's the reframe, the way that you are to reinterpret any obstacle, including the ones that only seem like they could have happened to you. You say and see that all challenges appear on your behalf. What if you turned it into a mantra? Perhaps the mantra of the evening. The mantra of the evening that all challenges appear on my behalf. All challenges appear on my behalf. This is literally the mantra. All challenges appear on my behalf, which is to say, all challenges appear for my good. All challenges appear to deepen me. All challenges are here to serve me. Oh, now that's a difference. Which is the frame from trying to stay in a chosen vibration and more about allowing the challenge to call out the very vibration you've chosen. Hmm. Changes the frame from trying to stay in your chosen vibration while dealing with this external event and instead allowing the challenge, the challenging event, the challenging situation to call out the very vibration that you have chosen. All challenges appear on my behalf, which is to say that all challenges serve love. Someone put, I understand in the chat. Someone put, I don't understand in the chat. If you don't understand, you feel me? Like, so we're understanding our principle. Okay, I see you saying, I understand. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I understand. Excellent. Excellent. So we're understanding our principle, our pattern, and our path for the evening. Just what a powerful reframe. I started tonight's conversation asking, is it possible to stay in a chosen vibration? And we're ending tonight's conversation with the understanding that we only want to stay in a chosen vibration during a challenge, but the challenge itself is meant to call out a deeper tone to our chosen frequency. Forget about staying. Make yourself available to respond. There's a difference. There's a difference. And so now looking back at that situation, it's kind of like, the situation with the business partner. It's like we ended up getting to a place where everything worked out. Everything was settled out without extra drama. And most importantly, with love, with the chosen vibration, with this understanding that there is nothing more important than abiding in true reality. Love made me apologize for saying things that were out of hand. Love made me say, I can meet you wherever you are. And that one difference made the difference in the relationship. It made the difference in the aftermath. It made the difference. Hmm. Okay, folks. I think Sublime came in the room, so y'all know what that means. Somebody's been waiting to see Sublime for weeks for real. And so y'all know what time it is. It's time for Breakthrough Turtle. Every week, Breakthrough Turtle, we call him B. What up, B? Breakthrough Turtle comes through and he gives us something that relates to our conversation for the evening. Breakthrough Turtle, what you got for me this week? What you got for us? Hmm. Uh-oh. What you saying? He's saying go from the back. Okay, so bang. All right. Cool. All right. Let's do that. Every week, break the turtle. They got the turtles. They got the turtles in the chat for you, B. You know he from New York. He eat a lot of pizza and stuff, so sometimes the tummy's too full. All right, all right, all right. So he's saying, oh, interesting. Break the turtle saying love can hurt, but it shouldn't stop you from pursuing it. When you love someone, you shouldn't regret it. The feeling is worth all the pain you may endure from it. Langston Hughes. Love can hurt, but it shouldn't stop you from pursuing it. When you love someone, you shouldn't regret it. The feeling is worth all of the pain you may endure from it. Break the turtle, is this for the night or is this for Sublime? What do you got going on here? He's saying love can hurt, but it shouldn't stop you from pursuing it. When you love someone, you shouldn't regret it. The feeling is worth all the pain you may endure from it. Are you suggesting that perhaps when we do select out and seek our chosen vibration, and for me, you know it's always love, that when we are met with setbacks, with the obstacles, with the challenges, the ones that make us want to quit and move into something a little bit more comfortable, move into something a little bit more safe, are you saying, are you using this quote to say that we should still abide? That the feeling of being in that chosen vibration, the feeling of being in that love is worth all the pain that we can endure from it? And indeed, are you saying that the pain is a part of allowing us to endure? That the pain deepens us in a way that allows us to expand ourselves out beyond all levels of worth and worthiness, out beyond anything that the world could ever give us. And that in the pain is merely an illusion, a trick the whole time just to get us to love even deeper. Is that what you're saying? Okay, well, he's saying, yeah, all right, well, cool. All right, Breakthrough Turtle. Well, you know what I'm saying? Shout out, see you next week and all right. Okay, so Breakthrough Turtle out here, uh, he come with the facts. He come with the facts. Sometimes I don't know if that's what he meant, but that's certainly what we got. That's certainly what we got. All right, folks. So check this out. If you're choosing Breakthrough tonight, send this video to someone that you know who is talking a lot about manifesting a chosen reality, but seems disheartened by setbacks. I do believe there's something in this video for them to enjoy, for them to discover, just as I've discovered tonight. And so, folks, it's our time. It's our time to go into the lab and connect with that singular, ultimate expression. Sometimes the truth will come out when we're in the lab in meditation, or rather when we're using our kits, our conscious transformation technologies. Sometimes it'll come out in conversations as it did tonight. But in either case, we want to finish our evening by always going to the place where the truth resides, and that's within. And so, what I want to do right now is turn to one of our kits for the evening and finish out by touching the truth that always remains. And so, if you are ready, now's the time to find a chair, find a floor, find your feet, stand, sit, lay, whatever you choose to do it with your spine straight. That means if you're laying on the floor, lay flat on your back. If you're standing or sitting, a trick I like to use is a trick the teacher taught me a long time ago is to visualize a little string hanging from the ceiling attached to the top of your head. And it is allowing your body to just hang from that string. Naturally, your spine and your back find alignment. At this time, you may close your eyes and take one deep breath in with me. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Inhale. Exhale. With eyes closed, imagine that your awareness is creating everything you can hear, touch, smell, feel, and think right now. Imagine that your awareness is even creating the darkness behind your eyes. Imagine that your awareness is eternal and free to produce anything you like. Feel how glorious it is to be the one creating everything that is happening in your world right now. What happens to negative thought patterns when you realize nothing is real except your awareness? Feel the lightness that emerges when you realize that the only thing that matters is awareness. Breathe. All you are is awareness. See that you do not have a body. You are aware of the body. You do not have memories. You are aware of memories. You do not have thoughts. You are aware of thoughts. You do not have emotions. You are aware of emotions. Feel yourself as only pure awareness. Everything you can experience is one in awareness. Open your eyes and notice where things come from in your experience. Notice how seeing objects does not require any effort on your part. Objects simply appear in your awareness. At this time, grab something, anything, hold it in your hand. Notice how feeling the sensation and textures in your hand do not require any effort on your part. Sensations simply appear for you. At this time, begin tapping gently on the object in your hand. Notice how hearing the sound does not require any effort on your part. Sound simply appears for you. Say to yourself, this experience is only possible because I am aware. Awareness is the only thing that my experience is made of. Look, feel, and touch upon your entire world as a world made only of your awareness. All the people, everything in your home, all the trees, sky, all of nature, and everything created is made of you, awareness. All is one. What does this oneness feel like in your chest now? Stay in awareness until the answer reveals itself to you. This feeling of oneness is love, your true self. Congratulations if you are sensing it for the first time. Take a deep breath in, inhale, exhale. One more breath in, inhale, exhale. When you are ready, return to your screen. Folks, if that exercise was very new to you, I recommend coming back every day this week and repeating it. You can fast forward to just this part in the video because if you can follow those simple prompts and witness what they reveal in you, you will begin to experience a vibration like no other. This vibration has gone by many names throughout the eons, but today I simply call it love. To stay in that vibration, or rather, to choose to deepen in that vibration, is to first experience it and then allow yourself to respond to reality from love spaces, from the love foundation. All challenges are working in your favor. That's why. If fear is our only enemy, then we bring heaven to earth when we transform our minds. I'm Dr. Shawn, and we were not sent to impress our people. We were sent to transform our people into a light for the world. For God's universe opens to all who believe in breakthrough.